You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. We got some breaking news information I want to share with y'all. And this is some very interesting stuff. I'm going to be real. The reason why I'm bringing this up is this is a conversation that a lot of people have been asking me to talk about. There's been a lot of people asking me to talk about this, and I've just never covered this part of the world, this part of this conversation, really at all. I tapped on it just a little bit, touched on the subject a little bit in the past on other lives covering Diddy and all that. But this information now is starting to show, it's starting to be very interesting and could be something that could tie into this trial that we're looking at right now as we speak. So before we get into everything, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you are watching on those other platforms, like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, make sure you hit that follow button over there. Subscribe here on my main channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Crush that subscribe button over there. Hit that notification bell on both channels so you know when I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random, just so you know. So make sure you have that notification bell set to all. And I predict there being 2 lives today on this channel, just so you guys know. And there's a bunch of videos that are going to be dropping like it's hot here as well, because there's a lot of cases that we're covering all at the same doggone time. So make sure you subscribe and that notification bell is set to all. Hit that join button down below, become a member, check out my Patreon, check out my locals, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there, guys. PascalMerch.com, go check it out. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Yes, you shall. Yes. Okay, guys, we have got to get into this conversation, y'all. Now, we have been in, this is day number 3 in the jury selection process. Today is Wednesday. Allegedly, they said that they were planning on the jury selection part of the trial to be over today. I have a feeling like it's not going to be done by today. I think that they're going to take up the full week, and they're going to have everything stitched up and ready to go by Friday. But as far as the jury selection process, they have hundreds of people that they're going through, questioning them, asking them all types of questions. There's been a lot of interesting characters that have shown themselves during the jury selection process, during the voir dire. It has been, nonetheless, a very entertaining and absolute cluster F all at the same damn time. You can't write that comedy. Some of the things are just comical, and you're going, is this for real? Are these questions being asked for real? Are these real people that are in there doing getting these questions answered? Like, really? These are the real people. Okay, this is America, right? So it's been very interesting, nonetheless. But now we got some other stuff that's going on. Now, I don't know if you guys know about Jonathan Audi or Odie. I don't know how they say it. I've heard Audi and I've heard Odie. We're just going to go with Audi, with all due respect. If I got it wrong, we're just going to roll with it. But Jonathan Audi has been somebody who has claimed to be one of Diddy's freak off people. Certain words I can't say on this platform, unfortunately. But there is information now that is starting to come out, NDAs and all that. Now, again, for those of y'all, this is a pretty big deal, because it could show proof positive even more that Diddy was definitely trafficking people across state lines for his own actual enjoyment. This also can show proof positive that maybe Jonathan Audi isn't all that crazy. That maybe the things that he's saying aren't super out of this world. This is a very interesting situation, guys. I'm telling you right now, the fact that this stuff is starting to slowly leak out can be very damning for Diddy and his trial that he's in the middle of getting started with. We already know that he's in a lot of trouble. Will he be screwed entirely? We don't know. But one thing's for sure, things like this, information like this, can really, really hurt his case. So let's get into this. Now, I know a lot of y'all don't know who this, or maybe some of y'all, maybe a good portion of y'all do know who this Jonathan Audi guy is. But honestly, there was a really good breakdown done by Law and Crime on the Law and Crime Network, where they just basically breaking down all the things that this particular person is saying. So let's take a little bit of a trip down memory lane with Jesse Weber on Sidebar. Let's take.
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself these days. Yeah, go ahead.
The man who allegedly opened fire inside of one of former President Donald Trump's Florida hotels several years ago made some wild statements to law enforcement in his interviews, saying he was a sex slave for Sean Diddy Combs. Well, now that federal investigators have raided two of the rapper's homes and an arrest and indictment in a sex trafficking operation could be imminent, the man's comments sound a little less crazy. We'll talk.
Now, let me just explain something. Yes, this man went into a Trump hotel, opening fire, losing his doggone mind. Then he finally gets arrested. And when he's arrested, which you're going to see a little bit in here, he starts talking. He literally just starts, seemingly starts talking crazy. The law enforcement think that he just lost his doggone marbles. But in actuality, he may have been telling the truth. And I'm telling you right now we have footage or proof of an NDA that's signed by Diddy for a $5 million NDA to keep Jonathan Audi from speaking. Yes. And if it is actually 110% real, Diddy's in trouble. He spent $5 million to make sure that this man, Jonathan Audi, would stay quiet. Then Jonathan Audi, who didn't even have like $2 to not even 2 pennies to rub together, he takes this money, he goes on a crazy spending spree, and then somehow in the midst of that, just loses his doggone mind to the point where he runs into a Trump hotel, starts opening fire. He gets caught by police. And then, of course, the infamous interrogation video that a lot of us have seen is where he's basically breaking it all down. Like, yo, I was one of his S workers, for lack of a better term. And I was involved in all these parties. I did all these freak offs involving Diddy and Cassie. And Diddy even gave me an STD. Yeah. And it was the gift that keeps on giving. Yeah. It's not the one that you could just get a shot and it disappears. And you could, and it's just a thing of the past. No, it still lingers with him for life. For life. Yeah. Moving on, though. Let's take a look at this. Like I said, we're going to look at a little bit of this. This guy loses his mind. I don't know if he bought like some really good powder, you know what I'm saying? And then he just went on some crazy crime spree, but he got $5 million. Then he started spending. He went on some crazy spending spree. And then he tried to go into crime, which I've never heard before in my life. You become a fresh millionaire. Last thing I've ever heard of is going, man, now that I've accomplished this, now that I've climbed this millionaire hill or this mountain that I never thought I'd ever climb, that crime mountain look like? That looks kind of good. I feel like climbing that one now too. Like what? What are you on? But clearly there's something going on with him. Clearly there is some sort of mental health situation going on here for sure. So we're gonna get into this. Let's just take a little bit of this. Take a look at a little bit of this. We're not gonna look at the whole thing, but diggity damn. Because a lot of people have been saying, oh, yeah, Jonathan Audi, he's just making those things up. He's just making it up. It's all lies, right? I beg to differ now.
Talk about it. Welcome to Cyber's case. And a name kept coming up in connection with Combs, and I couldn't understand it. Jonathan Audi. Now, that name may seem familiar to you, and I will explain why. But what I'm also going to do is try to break down and possibly debunk the connection between this man and Combs, but maybe not.
I don't think there's any way that this debunction is now even palpable because we now have more information. So remember, this is a video that was created a year ago, just so you guys know. It's got over 2 million views. I mean, this is a video that a lot of people went and checked out for recap or for a little bit of a refresher. And also, there was a lot of rumor saying that Jonathan Audi had lost his life. There were rumors that he lost his life in prison. Other rumors were saying that he lost his life in a car accident. No, this man is still alive. In fact, he has been having hearings. He's been having court appearances over the past year. You guys have been sending them to me, going, "Hey, go check out go into the Zoom, hearing and all that." I've been getting those. Y'all have been adding me on X with that stuff since the day Diddy got arrested. So again, man is still alive, and he's talking now. Apparently, it's crazy
because as wild as some of his claims were, they may make sense now. We'll talk about that. The reason I say all of this is because after several bombshell lawsuits were filed against Combs, accusing him of sexual assault, physical violence, human trafficking, after federal agents raided his homes, reportedly pursuant to an ongoing sex trafficking investigation, all of these numerous videos and social media posts and old interviews and more, they've all popped up. Particularly in the last 2 weeks, people trying to make some connections between what he said or people said and these allegations. Now, to be clear, Combs has not been charged with any crimes connected to this raid, but his charges may be on the horizon and the investigation continues. There is something that has surfaced. This police interrogation of a man who allegedly opened fire inside of one of former President Donald Trump's hotels, Jonathan Audi. What is his connection to Diddy? Or should I say perceived connection to Diddy?
Okay, I'm sorry. This feels a little bit like a scene from a movie. Why does it feel like a scene from like what's that movie? What's that movie with the character's name is Dirk Diggler? That's going to drive me crazy. Boogie Nights. There it is. It makes me think of like a scene from Boogie Nights solely because he's also an ex-adult film star. This man, Jonathan Audi, is a former adult film star. So he made money thrusting them hips on camera. And then he finagles a $5 million NDA. He gets paid $5 million. And then he just goes absolutely freaking nuts by going into a hotel and losing his doggone mind. Now, like I said, obviously it must have been some sort of cry for help or something like that. It is very sad, but it feels like it's a scene from a movie, y'all. Doesn't it? Yeah, I said thrusting them hips, Erica. We're here for the jokes here too, guys. But yeah. So apparently he didn't have not one red penny to his name. Then he signs this NDA, and then he's rich as hell, right? and then he loses his mind. And it could have been a thing of like guilt. Maybe he lost his mind, and maybe this made him snap because of guilt, because of the things that he saw. If those allegations of what people have been saying out here in these streets are true, I could see that rotting from the inside somebody as well, right? But let's continue.
Let me give you a little background. Now, you might remember back in 2018, a man went into the Trump National Doral Miami Hotel and Resort in the middle of the night and went on a rampage. The state attorney's office says that Jonathan Audi fired shots inside the lobby and toward the chandelier on the ceiling, then draped a giant American flag across the hotel's front desk. He allegedly walked around breaking items like computer monitors, throwing things around the lobby. When police officers arrived and confronted him, there was a shootout. Audi seemingly tried to make a run for it, but he had been shot in the leg. He didn't get very far. Police found him hiding. They took him into custody. Audi was taken to the hospital with 3 gunshot wounds, 2 in one leg, 1 in the other. And while at the hospital, Audi reportedly made several bizarre statements and asked repeatedly to speak with the FBI, Secret Service, CIA, the media. When Audi appeared before a judge, he didn't make any kind of wild outburst, but he seemingly admitted to committing at least one of the crimes he's charged with.
1 count of aggravated assault with a firearm, 1 count of armed burglary with a battery or an assault, 1 count of armed criminal mischief causing damages greater than $1,000, 1 count of armed grand theft, and 1 count of making a false fire alarm offense. So those are the charges. Sir, do you have any money to pay for your own private attorney?
I will request as of now that the court grants me an attorney. I do have funds to pay for my attorney, but I haven't had time to meet with him yet. So I don't know if they're going to take my case or not.
Given the serious nature of these charges, I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you for this preliminary first appearance hearing. Well, it's very clear. It says surveillance footage and witness accounts corroborate that the defendant discharged a handgun multiple times at the arriving City of Doral Police Department and Miami-Dade Police Department law enforcement officers. So that, even though it doesn't specifically state 5, it does mention that there were more than, I believe, 2 uniformed officers, in addition to the unarmed security guard who threatened to kill as well. And there was damages greater than $1,000 at the Trump National Doral, because it says it was over 30,000. So anything else?
Well, unclear. Well, like I said, there's unclear. There's not a number specifically listed. There could have been 1 officer on one side and 1 officer on the other, and that's officers in general and plural. As far as that's, and I don't think I didn't see necessarily the alarm pushing, but that might have to push alarm.
It's not specifically mentioned here, although. Okay.
So that just happened.
Sir, everything's being recorded. Just so you know. If you want to speak, it's fine. I'm happy to listen.
Yeah, she's like, okay, go ahead. You want to expose your ass? Go ahead, expose your ass. Go ahead, buddy. Do us some, we don't do the work for us, so we don't have to do much. Go ahead and do what you need to say. Say what you need to say, baby. Okay? So we can get this moving. Thank you. No, thank you.
Your attorney turned the microphone off, though. Probably a wise move.
Yeah, trying to get him to shut the hell up. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it is funny. Thank God no one else got hurt in this situation. From my understanding, no one got hurt here. He's the only one got hurt because of his loony self ran in here and wanted to cause a ruckus. Now, is this a reaction to things that he endured while being allegedly Diddy's little S slave? That is a question that still needs to be answered, but we're going to get to that in just a minute. Like I said, just a little background work so you guys understand what the hell's going on here, because this is bad. And you could even tell in that video, aside from him, basically exposing himself or admitting to doing one of the crimes, you could tell just by the look on his face, he's not well. something's not right and he's not well.
Despite having happened so many years ago, though, Audi's case has still not yet gone to trial. The next in-person status update at the Miami-Dade County Courthouse is scheduled for April 19th. So with all that in mind, what does this all have to do with Diddy? Well, after Audi was released from the hospital while still wearing what appears to be a hospital gown, Audi did interviews with law enforcement, including the Secret Service. And we have part of that interrogation. And I will tell you right now, he says some bizarre stuff, okay? After talking about various kinds of conspiracy theories, Audi asks this one thing out of the blue.
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself
Yeah.
these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The
The
Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people.
Okay, first thing to talk about here. The Boule is a real thing. It is the senior leadership of Sigma Pi Phi fraternity, the oldest postgraduate fraternity founded by and for black men. It was a secret society in its beginning, but now has chapters all over the United States. This is an organization for black professionals already experienced in their careers, and Sean Diddy Combs is sometimes rumored to have been a member of Sigma Pi Phi, but no indication that he is. Tell me this whole thing isn't a little bit out there, right? Really makes you think about the people in your life, what they're all about. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Well,
But at the same time, as wild as it is, okay, as wild as it is, it may be true.
there is a service that can help you learn about the reality about the people in your life. Truth.
Okay, and that's a commercial break. And of course, I get it. They got to make their money. Shout out to Law and Crime. I like Jesse Wepper. Good guy. Very good guy. Good show, too.
Transmit a statement.
Good show as well. But nonetheless, okay, there's a lot of questions here. And understandably, I think we would all want to know what the actual hell is going on here, and if this is actually true or if this is just all fake news, right? But let's hear a little bit more of what he has to say in this video right here.
To the American people and to Donald Trump that we're not accepting any more corruption and abuse from their system of friends. Okay? Donald's still blind because he thinks that he let Hillary off the hook and she's okay. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm trying. Okay. Keep going.
It ain't like that. The CIA and then they want to do the same thing that he did JFK. Okay?
All right.
Why? Because they want the United States to fall. They've already been creating a state of chaos and confusion in the United States. They want the United States to fall. Donald was against their agenda and won the presidency. Okay? He did get help from Russia. He did get help from the Saudis. He also got help from a lot of Republicans in here, which is the Electoral College vote. And he got a lot of support from Republican people. Okay? The elections, yeah, they weren't fair, but he wanted the Electoral College vote.
Right.
Which is the Republican vote, basically. He got him through, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get the popular vote.
Right.
Okay?
I hear you.
So basically, the interior, he made it. He's president-elect by the Electoral College. So
Okay, I'm gonna scrub through a little bit more.
available under secrecy. That means that I wouldn't be liable because I don't want to be getting blamed for anything. Okay.
Right.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a sex slave. Okay, for them that's what I was. That's all. All right. I caught herpes, and I came back and I sued him for the herpes and won. But they did. Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys. Okay.
We've already heard Mark Garagos's name before, And now, because of just what's been going on, if you didn't know what was going on with Mark Garagos and this particular trial, I highly recommend you guys go over to my most recent video that I posted this morning. And yeah, he just said Mark Garagos's name. I'm just rolling that back again. Maybe Mark Garagos is the one who actually penned this NDA. Maybe that's what happened here. I don't know, but I'm just playing it again. But he said he has been a facilitator of spicy deeds for Diddy and Cassie. And he did it about 15 times. That's what he said, 15 different times. And he would hear crazy stuff that was going on, conversations that Diddy was having, business talk, blah, 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 right? This is what this man is claiming. This is after he's been arrested for, basically pulling up to a hotel and losing his doggone mind, right? Holding the whole hotel hostage, right? So again, this is very, very interesting. And a lot of people have been having a lot of questions on if Jonathan Audi is actually telling the truth or if this mother lover done lost his marbles.
I seen for the reason won, but they did. Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so. They gave it back to me accidentally, and it's possible I threw everything out. It's possible I can produce a copy.
Gotcha.
It's possible. I'm not sure. Now, how does this lead towards Donald Trump?
Okay.
The Mercedes family, Ben Mercedes, that works with Mark Garagos. Mark Garagos used to be Michael Jackson's attorney.
Yeah, out in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He drugged Michael and they OD'd him, okay? He didn't overdose. They OD'd him because they keep the royalties of the music. Michael alone made $860 million alone last year, okay?
Now, of course, that's another conversation in itself. The other conspiracy theories that he said and the other crazy stuff that he says in this interrogation video is very, very interesting. But nonetheless, he does say, and I'm going to repeat that again, he does say that he was in a relationship, or, not a relationship, but there was an understanding for him to facilitate certain things for Cassie and Diddy. He did about 15 different times. But he was in rooms where he could hear Diddy, making money moves and all that, right? So again, I'm just going to play that part one more again.
Under secrecy. That means that I wouldn't be liable because I don't want to be getting blamed for anything, okay?
All right.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with people and stuff, and I was like a sex slave. Okay, for them that's what I was. That's all. All right. I caught herpes, and I came back and I sued him for the herpes and won, but they did. Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so.
So he had a video of him engaging in some sort of activity with Diddy and Cassie. And then he said, I caught I caught that stuff. And then from my understanding, it seems to me like he wanted to, Diddy wanted to exchange the video for money. I'll give you the money, just bring in the tape, right? That's from my understanding, but let's continue.
They gave it back to me accidentally, and it's possible I threw everything out. It's possible I can produce a copy.
Gotcha.
It's possible. I'm not sure. Now,
Okay, so he doesn't know if he can produce a copy of the actual video, is my understanding. But there's been new developments, guys. There's been new updates about this whole conspiracy theory that has been going rampant throughout the internet for the past, say, year or two since, well, actually, over the past year now since Diddy has been arrested. Obviously, we already know that John Audi in that infamous video now has surfaced because of Diddy's arrest. And now people are saying maybe John Audi isn't talking super crazy. Again, a broken clock can be right 2 times a day. So there is still a possibility that this guy is actually telling 110% the truth, but it's layered with all types of mental health issues. Clearly, there's a mental health issue going on. When you see the footage of him actually going into this hotel and he's just screaming at the cops, you know, no person in their right mind is just going to run into a hotel, put a whole hotel under, a life-threatening situation, and then be screaming, barking back at the police, and then obviously turn that weapon onto the police. No person in their right mind is going to do that. Yeah, you can also say rugs. You can also say that, okay? That could be possible too. Do you like rugs? You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it is. But it also could be him just overwrought with guilt and memories of doing stuff with Diddy and Cassie and others. Okay. Real quick, let me get this though. Real quick. Nikki, thank you so much for being a member for 10 months. I really do appreciate it. Carbonize, what's up? If, quote unquote, you have the right to remain silent, if you have the right to remain silent, however, you lack the ability, was a person, it's this one. Smash the like button. Yeah, I mean, in that crazy, okay, like clearly he wants his voice to be heard. Clearly he wanted to say something. And again, this could be absolutely right, or this could be absolutely knocking foots. And again, let me tell you right now, we're in day 3 of the trial. Not even the trial yet. It's just jury selection, and it's already a circus. It's already crazy. Yeah. Juror number 72, potential juror number 72. We understand that you happen to smoke the Mary Jane. Yes, sir. Every day. Hey. Gotcha. So we're just asking, if you were asked to not smoke the ganj throughout these 8 weeks, could you actually do it? Honestly, Your Honor, nope. I can't. Wow. Well, that's interesting. We can take him off the list then. I mean, it's been absolutely crazy. Somebody else said, I might pass out from trauma seeing any type of videos or any depiction of anything bad. I just can't do that. It's like, so then why the hell are you here? What do you do? Can you get her out of here too? There's been a lot of that. Oh, I saw a parody about this whole thing, a comedy skit about this whole thing on Russian TikTok. Really? You saw a skit about this? Oh, yeah, it's a great one. Or here's another one. Somebody said something along the lines of they had to, that they were listening to, they were catching up on CNN while they were leaving the courthouse yesterday. I'm like, it feels like a joke. All of it is a joke. It's been a circus, and that's just on the jurors. Now, again, I'm going to tell you right now, there's plenty of people. It wasn't Russian TikTok. I was just being funny there. But if you really don't, people really don't want to do jury duty, basically. People are just making things up. They got to be. They got to. I'm having, I have a bad feeling about this because I am married to my alligator, my pet alligator. And I think that, free love for everybody. Okay, you can get rid of this person. Thank you. You see what I'm saying? It's getting to that place. It's getting wild. It's getting wild. So we got to take a look at this. Like I said, it's a circus out there, and I have a feeling it's going to go even more off the rails here as we start getting into the actual trial. Or maybe it rights itself and we don't have any problems here in the near future, but you never know. All right. So, Rianne, thank you so much for gifting. Thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. I really do appreciate it. All 5 of you, welcome to the family. And, Rianne just gave you some love, okay? So please, pay it forward. Open the door for somebody. Do something nice for somebody, okay? There's a lot of people that need some positivity out here in these streets. So go and do that. Because you just were given some love. Okay? Now, let's get back into this conversation. And of course, sorry, one last thing. Please do not forget to hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button. Don't forget to subscribe here on this channel. Hit that notification bell because there's going to be a lot of updates over the next 2 months. I mean, the trial is going to get started next Monday, and it's going to be insane. And there's going to be a tidal wave of information. It's going to be wild. So make sure, okay, you have that notification bell set to all, and that you periodically just come back and check this page, this channel, because sometimes I have a feeling most days I'm going to exceed the amount of times that YouTube sends out notifications to people. So just so you guys know, okay? So let's get into this because this is very, very interesting as well. Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you so much. She gave me a Cash App. Okay, I'll take a look at that in a second. Thank you so much for the heads up. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support too. And being a great mod as well. Thank you. All right. So let's get into this. All right. So same guy went to Donald Trump's resort. He opened fire, all that stuff. He was hitting the leg. We already know about all that. He claims to have had relations with with Diddy and Cassie. Okay. At the time, his comments were dismissed as delusions of a mentally ill maniac. He was in the land of Delulu. But this article can now confirm Audi did know Diddy and was guarding a secret so scandalous that the rapper asked him to sign an NDA to protect it. The agreement is dated 2014. We do have the NDA right here in this article. We're going to take a look at that here in just a second. Okay? This is crazy. Okay? No. I know that you gave me the Cash App. She's letting me know that you sent me a Cash App. But I appreciate it. I'm going to look at it, Nikki. I appreciate it, though. I'll look at it in a second. Let me just get some of this information out for everybody, all right? So, as I was saying, the agreement, which we're going to be seeing a little bit of a clip of it here, is dated 2014, 4 years before the actual situation that happened at that Trump hotel, and 10 years before Diddy's life came crashing down with a federal indictment for STing and a bunch of other things. Now, Audi did tell the police in Doral that he signed the document in exchange for $5 million. Here it is. Here is the document. Now, what's interesting about this, and in fact, hold on. Let me see what I can do here. Because I want to be able to see it all. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Well, nope. Won't be able to do that. So, okay. So much for that. But let's get back to it. All right. But nonetheless, confidential agreement dated July 9th, 2014. Here is his signature. Jonathan Audi, State of Florida, County of Miami-Dade, sworn to and subscribed before me on this such and such day, I guess, 9th day of July 2014, by Jonathan Audi, who is personally known to me and who did or did not take an oath. Then there's a signature that's been redacted. Then underneath, and I'm assuming that's maybe Maybe there was another witness or something of that sort that was involved in here as well. Then moving on, still down here, right? July 9th, 2014, Sean Combs. Okay, Sean Combs individually and on behalf of Bad Boy Worldwide, Sean John Enterprises, and all affiliated entities and persons, Combs parties. Okay, sworn to subscribe by me on this day of the 9th, I guess, of July 2014 by Sean Combs. Then his signature's down there again. Again, this is a confidential settlement agreement. Sorry, gonna hit it again. This is not good. Sworn before me, sworn to and subscribed before me, Sean Combs, who is personally known to me and who did not take an oath. Sean Combs, his signature there again. Then obviously that signature and that printed name is somebody, I'm assuming a witness that has been redacted. All right. But still, nonetheless, this is an NDA, a piece of the NDA agreement of him actually saying, showing proof positive that there was an NDA that was created between both of these guys to get him to shut up and not say anything. He was paid $5 million. And then while he went out and had the $5 million in his pocket, he lost his damn mind. This whole thing happened in 2018, the whole shooting situation in the hotel or at that Miami resort. That was 4 years after he signed that NDA. So maybe, just maybe, Jonathan Audi is not freaking out of his mind. Let us continue. He's scared I will expose him. That's what he said of Diddy. My settlement put me in a box. Basically, I couldn't talk because I was going to be sued. They kept following me, he said. He also claimed to have turned over a tape to Diddy's then lawyer, Mark Garagos. The contents of that alleged tape are unknown. Now, Adi's former wife, Tanya, tells Daily Mail how he unraveled after that agreement with Diddy. Now on trial in Manhattan for a slew of, well, we already know about that. The date of the contract was around the same time as our divorce. I almost feel like he divorced me because he came to all this money, and so I wouldn't claim it. He didn't want her to get half. Oh, ham. Oh, my damn. Anyway, I almost feel like he divorced me because he came to all this money, so I wouldn't claim it. But our lives were already going in different paths. I started feeling like a third wheel in someone else's life rather than a wife. The pair had a mostly happy marriage, she said, between 2008 and 2014. But as Adi became more involved in the party and adult film scene, his wife says they drifted apart. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to stay with somebody who just wants to go and, you know what I mean, thrust them hips for a living. You feel me? Yeah, I just need to be out there just thrusting them hips. I'm sorry. That's not a marriage. Goodbye. See you later. That's definitely a you know what I mean? That's a deal. That's a deal breaker for me. All right. But, he worked out. He was in good shape. What began as a job stripping at bachelorette parties turned into more a hardcore career in the adult film industry. His ex-wife believes he met Diddy through work, although she has never met Diddy. She said it wasn't uncommon for A-list celebs to pick up women and men at ultra-exclusive Star Island parties in Miami Beach. Soon, The time he would spend with his wife or his now ex-wife, became less and less as Audi sunk deeper into the party life. It was also around this time he allegedly started partying with Diddy and Cassie. Diddy just has those radiating personalities, and I can tell that he really enjoyed the attention. He likes to be the king. Johnny would have played perfectly into that. I could see where they might have started off a friendship because Johnny would have made him feel like a king. After she found out Audi was having an affair with one of his co-stars, she decided it was time to get out of the marriage. So in August of 2014, they had filed divorce, but still remained amicable with each other, she said. Now, I'm telling you right now, I don't know how some people have that kind of patience or that understanding, I guess. That's weird, y'all. You out here running around, dude is your man, your husband's out here in these streets performing when he should be at home performing for you, if that makes any sense. But, it is what it is. He kept on insisting that we sign the divorce paperwork, which I thought was very odd, how he wanted to get things going so quickly. It was only later that I found out that he had signed this agreement with Combs. In the divorce documents, Audi claimed that he was making $2,000 a month as a fitness trainer. I guess you can call that fitness. You are burning calories. But moving on, he claimed to have a net worth of $1,800. He ain't got no monies. But less than a month after the filing, Audi went on a property buying spree and bought up 5 properties over a 2-month period for $765,000, according to court records. Yeah, he came up with a whole bunch of monies. Like I said, $5 million. Yeah, you're going to try to be smart with that money. You're not going to just snort it, right? You're not just going to go buy a really nice whip. You're going to try to invest in something so that you have some substantial money coming back, right? So the records indicate none of the properties were purchased with a mortgage, which suggests he paid all in cash, according to a report by local NBC News. From September 5th to 2014, and at the ending on October 30th, 2014, Audi bought 5 properties that were otherwise headed for foreclosure. Then the spending spree coincides with when he claims he received his NDA windfall from Diddy. All of that abruptly came to an end after he stormed into President Trump's National Doral Golf Club and exchanged gunfire with police in May of 2018. Investigators said Audi carried an American flag into the lobby of the Miami Golf Resort and shouted about the president before allegedly pulling the trigger at officers who obviously took him out at the legs and then arrested him. The Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office filed charges of attempted M of law enforcement officers, armed robbery, and armed grand theft. He is still awaiting trial and remains in a Florida jail. So, like I said, there have been, and this is, I guess, his ex-wife, but there has been a lot of allegations of him being gone, like that he lost his life in a car accident, that he was actually M'd, that he was unalived or deleted while in jail. He is still on this planet. He is still alive, everybody. Still on this planet and still alive. And I'm telling you right now, she was like, hey, I need you to, or she was like, he said, I need you to sign these papers, right? You got to sign them papers, because he knew he had $5 million coming his way. So he didn't want her to see that and go, I want half. So he said, sign these papers as quickly as possible. So she did. Then what did he do? Someone who claimed to have negative $1,800 in his bank account at that time of the divorce. suddenly goes on a spending spree, buying buildings, totaling over $500,000, $250,000 to be exact. Over $250,000. And this is the same dude that said, I ain't got no monies. And then he goes absolutely knucking berserk later on because, I don't know, because either maybe he's doing too many chemicals, maybe too many party favors, or he's feeling guilty for what he has witnessed and what this money is came from. Maybe this is dirty money. We don't know, right? That's funny. Maybe it's dirty money. Get it? Nobody? Okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So, so again, so here it is. I was waiting for you guys to let that sink in because sometimes I got bars. Sometimes, every once in a while, I got bars. So you just got to keep up. Make sure you get that full cup of coffee before you hop on this show. Okay? If you need to do some weird mental gymnastics so you're ready for this show, you already know. So you with it. Dirty money. Diddy's group, Dirty Money. So anyway, $5 million is a whole lot of quiche. And for one person to say he has no money, he doesn't even have 2 pennies to rub together, to suddenly maybe less than a month after he filed that divorce from his former wife, he goes on a crazy spending spree, buying properties close to $750,000. Again, no money to suddenly having some serious money. And now we are seeing proof positive of documents being signed with his name and Sean Diddy Combs' name in the mother-loving paperwork as well. Again, this is some bad news for Diddy. Why? Because this is a person that they could use in trial. I'm not kidding. If they actually have this proof, and this proof is out here now, for a fact, Diddy is probably trembling now because there's certain things I'm sure that Jonathan Audi has seen or has done with or in party to Diddy that Diddy does not want out here for everyone to see. Again, you got some star witnesses that are coming out. In fact, we found out that one of the star witnesses that were supposed to show up ain't going to show up no more. Why? I think it's witness tampering. I could be wrong, but at the same time, you have a witness that said, I want to be known. I'm not going to hide behind the Jane Doe pseudonym. Y'all going to know and remember and respect my name as soon as I do my testify. As soon as I testify, as soon as I do my testimony, you're going to learn something today, and you're going to know who I am. But now that person, that Jane Doe, is not showing up anymore. Why? So this is very important, I think. This Jonathan Audi situation, the paperwork that's being shown, one, it shows us that he's not crazy. Well, not entirely crazy. And 2, that he saw some things. And he is a potential witness that they can use in this trial. He could be that surprise witness that just comes out of nowhere to tell his point of view and what he saw at these freak-offs, being a paid S worker at these particular events. You got to remember, he said he was there and he did things with Cassie at least 15 times. Now, we already know that Diddy has a very strong and very, very large sexual appetite. So that 15 times could have been done in 3 days. Real talk, it could have been. But I really do think, really do think that 15 times over a span of, say, a couple months, you're going to learn about somebody really quick, especially when you're in the room and everybody's in their birthday suit. So again, at the end of the day, this whole thing that's coming out with Jonathan Audi, everyone should start looking at this seriously, because there's a recipe, or there's a potential plot twist that could be presented in this trial. And it all has to do with a crazy man holed up in a Florida jail cell right now by the name of Jonathan Audi. I'm telling you right now, Diddy got a lot of explaining to do. And we haven't even started this trial. We are just in the jury selection. Do you understand? Do you understand? Okay? This is going to be crazy. And if the feds, prosecution, aren't looking at this now, with this information coming out, if they're not looking at this for real, I want to slap them in the face. You know what I mean? I want to go up to the prosecution and go, bah, what the hell's wrong with you? Wake up, look at me, eyes, look at me. Do you not see this guy all the way in Florida? You need to fly him up here. You need to go and make sure he's properly vetted and put him on the stand. But make sure his mind is calm, cool, collected, and that he's not going to be talking crazy stuff. Real talk. We don't want that to happen. He's sitting there going, yeah, I saw this whole thing. Aardvark. You know what I mean? You don't want that. It's like, wait, what aardvark? I'm sorry. Please let the court forget that he just said aardvark. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be interesting when it all goes down. And I'm telling you right now, when it does, if it does, and I'm hoping it does, because I feel like this is some good evidence and could really bite Diddy in the ass. Okay? So we're going to see what happens here. All right? But when it does happen, it's going to go off. It's going to go off. And maybe they're not going to say anything until later on in the trial. And then all of a sudden, just boom, we have this one witness. Please come to the stand, Jonathan Audi. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I know not every trial is like Perry Mason or like Matlock. Okay. But sometimes, just sometimes, you wish that there would be that plot twist out of nowhere, So this is going to be crazy, yo. When it goes down, it's going to go down. Hopefully it does go down. Well, it just depends on what the feds think about this information. But I'm telling you right now, it shows to me that Jonathan Audi's not crazy. And he may have really been paid off with an NDA because he saw some incriminating information. He saw some incriminating acts, or he was a part of some incriminating acts as well. But that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. We got a lot coming. I got another pop-up video coming up here in just a little bit for you guys on another case. There's a lot going on today. There's going to be a lot going on for the next couple months. So get ready, get savvy, please and thank you. All right? So do me a favor before you head out. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what to do. Hit that reaction button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, please and thank you. Hit that join button down below. Make sure you become a member. Support the channel if you can. Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys? But like I said, I'm hopping off so I can get this other video to you guys as soon as possible because there's a lot going on in so many cases right now. So appreciate you guys for being here. It really means a lot. We'll be talking very soon. Stay blessed out there. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.